Welcome to At Home with Music, as we continue our series from ears to fingers. We've just gotten finished finding all the minor chords, and we already know all the major chords, and up till now we've been dealing primarily with triads. You'll notice that all these chords we've looked at have 3 notes, which makes them a triad. We've got major triads and minor triads and diminished triads. Now we're going to create 7th chords by adding an extra note to these triads. And so there are 5 types, or 5 main types of 7th chords that I'd like to show you in this video. You'll come across these in your music, or you'll come across them, or you'll want to use them when you're creating your own sounds. And so let's start with the first one, the major 7th chord. We create a major 7th chord by starting with, and we're going to base all these 7th chords right now just on the C major triad. It contains the major triad, and then we're going to add a note that's a major 7th above the root. So you remember when we did our intervals, this is a major 7th. C major, C is the root, we add the major 7th above, and we end up with the chord called C major 7th, or a major 7th chord. And you can see in the diagram how it's written, C capital M7. It's used a lot in jazz, gives kind of a laid-back feel. You can even add 7th chords, like if you're playing even something as simple as Mary Had a Little Lamb. You can play it this way, or you can play it the jazzy way. It's a very beautiful sounding chord. The next type of 7th chord we're going to look at is the dominant 7th chord. And this is the most common 7th chord, and actually one of the most important of the 7th chords. And so it's created once again by taking the triad, and now we're going to add a minor 7th on top. And so in the key of C major, or actually using a C major triad, the notes would be C, E, G, B flat. And so the B flat is a minor 7th above C. It's written as C7. Now, the dominant 7th is used a lot in blues. So you can actually use that and play the blues scale, which I will show you in detail in another video. But it would sound something like this. So there is an F dominant 7th chord. And then sometimes in the blues, they'll go to the dominant 7th, another dominant 7th chord, and then, so it's all dominant 7ths. Now, of course, I'm playing them all in root position. You wouldn't necessarily do that if you were actually playing the blues. But that's something for another time as we continue on here with learning how to play by ear. The third main type of 7th chord is called the minor 7th chord. And so now we're going to start by taking the minor triad, and we're going to add that minor 7th. And you can actually go between 2 minor 7th chords and get another kind of a jazzy feel. There's F minor 7, C minor 7. The fourth type of 7th chord we want to look at is called the half diminished 7th chord. And this is created by taking a diminished triad and adding the minor seventh. And so we have the notes C, E flat, G flat, B flat. And then finally we have the diminished seventh chord. This is the chord that gives your music a very tension-filled, scary feel to it, if you like. And it's created by taking the diminished triad and adding a diminished seventh. And you notice how it's notated. We have the notes C, E flat, G flat, B double flat. I'm not sure we have encountered double flats before, but it's basically you're starting on B and you go B flat, B double flat. And then you can see how it's notated, written as a small circle followed by a 7. The interesting thing about this is you can add different notes in the bass. And you'll notice composers, it kind of has multiple uses. It's a very versatile seventh chord. But of course it creates that very dramatic sound. Beethoven loved this chord, by the way. You can listen to the Moonlight Sonata in the first movement and you'll hear, it's in there. You'll start to recognize it when you hear it. So those are the 5 main seventh chords. Now there are others, some rather bizarre sounding ones, but we're not going to worry about those right now. We might get to those later. But these are the ones that you'll be using to kind of jazz up your music a little bit, make it sound richer and fuller. You're not required to use seventh chords, but they can add a lot to your playing, and just as you're fooling around on the keyboard, enjoy the sounds, because you'll be making them yourself. Anyway, thanks for watching, and please like the video because that helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed, I would ask you to consider subscribing to the channel. That also helps the channel. And if you have any questions about these chords or how to form them, then let me know. You can contact me through the website athomewithmusic.com, or you can leave a comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you.